Get the Friendo Club set up today and get access to over 700 Going in Raw bonus episodes, our monthly Big Blue predictions challenges, and the ability to ask questions at Going in Raw. We also offer the Steven Larson comic book and exclusive Friendo Club t-shirt. Just hit join here at youtube.com/Steven Larson or go to patreon.com/Steven Larson to sign up. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. It's Friday. You look like you're in pain, Larson. What's up with that, man?
I shouldn't. I don't want to take this as complaining, but we like our routines, you and I.
Yeah, because we're old. We're old.
We like our routines. Breaking routine is a shock to the system. I find it kind of exhausting.
Yeah.
To break the routine. And so for the last couple of weeks, like the prospect of these afternoon Raw and Smackdowns, like, cool, watch it. It's done. We get the recap in the can. It's up. Move on. It's such a disturbance of our usual routine and schedule that I feel like to a certain degree my body is like revolting against it.
Yeah,
I sit down and try to watch Raw or SmackDown at noon, and my body's like, no, you shouldn't be doing this right now. At 12 on a Friday or Monday, you should be on the basketball court.
Yeah, dude. No, I feel
I instantly get tired.
It wouldn't be that bad, I don't think, if like the shows were good. And it's like Raw's been decent, but I feel you because like I like to get a bunch of shit done. Like, we got 2 other channels that we deal with. And I like to get that stuff done, so I like to watch it a little bit later. I mean, the one positive to these Friday Euro Smackdowns is that we get to start our weekend early, which is good, I guess. Yeah. I'll probably still do some work stuff. We'll probably do a Twitch stream just because I got the extra time. But I do think that it would help if SmackDown specifically on this particular Friday was anything better than it was today, because again, I don't want to come off as like overtly negative or whatever, but it was not a very good show.
Steve,
it was pretty
shoot
boring.
From the hip, keep it real, man.
Nah, you know what, man?
You can be honest. Tonight's SmackDown, this afternoon's SmackDown, it was kind of lame.
You know what? This is the thing. I have right now as the title of this episode, Roman, Punk, and Rollins face off, WWE SmackDown 3/21/25 review, which factually is true. Here's the thing. When it was reported and then kind of became obvious from what we saw on TV that the direction for WrestleMania for Rollins, Punk, and Roman was the match for WrestleMania Triple Threat, I was like, hey, I'm on board because you throw Heyman in the mix. All these guys are dropping promos. They can drop some killer promos. A lot of history here. And when you think back to, for example, when it was like, what was it like? Punk, Drew, and Seth had that killer promo a while ago for whatever they were building to. Yeah. And it was like, oh my God, this is so well done. When you get all these 3 guys together, which I don't know how many more times you're going to get them all in the same place at the same time because of the
fireworks.
schedules.
Yeah.
It should be fireworks. Heyman should say something. There should be history explored. And all we really got was like Seth saying, without you and me, there is no you and me. We're going to go. And then Punk comes up and it's like, what? Like, that's all we get? A brawl where everybody takes turns pointing at the sign.
That was the corniest part, far and away, where it starts with Punk. So let's backtrack a little bit. So you mentioned Roman comes out, says, I'm here for, 15, 20 minutes till the end of the show. Seth comes out, says, hey, we have a lot of history. Let's write another chapter, which seems like it's leading to Seth challenging Roman to a one-on-one match, but then he starts taking his jacket off. So he just wants to fight there, I guess.
He's like, look at my titty.
Maybe.
Could be.
And then Punk comes out and like teases what the favor is and says, we're going to worry about that later. Brawl breaks out. They all take turns pointing at the WrestleMania sign. Here's something I've noticed, and granted it's the small sample size, but post-Elimination Chamber build to WrestleMania. We got this huge moment, Cena turning heel.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about it. A lot of intriguing possibilities in terms of what they can do. He comes out and drops a really long promo that gets a pretty polarizing reaction. Some people really liked it. Some people thought it was dull, boring, and uninspired. We had this great moment last week on Raw, or this past Raw, whatever it was, where Roman, pulls Seth out of the cage. You get mayhem and violence ringside in the ring. Great moment.
Mm-hmm.
And again, a situation where the segment that follows it up, I think more obviously this one than the Cena promo, underwhelming. Because it didn't really feel like it added much to what we had already seen. It's like, hey, we have to get through the formality of booking this Mania match. So everybody point at the sign. It'll happen. Just because you guys don't like each other. But it feels like, given the participants and the history of them all, there should be so much more to explore.
Yeah, I agree. And I think especially given the strength of all three guys, and then you throw Heyman in there as a fourth guy and his history with Punk and Roman, you throw all those guys together and they should all have some pretty compelling stuff to say. And instead we just get a big brawl. We know Triple H likes his brawls, and in certain situations it can be pretty effective. I think that last week on SmackDown we had Charlotte attacking Tiffany and she did the cool jump off the thing. I thought that was pretty effective. There's been no story there. This week the side-by-side interview did nobody any favors, because those things, unless it's Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle, or unless it's Razor Ramon and Bret Hart, those side-by-side interviews generally should be shut down. They're awful. They're not good.
Yeah, they generally come off as pretty awkward.
Yeah. But yeah, getting back to Roman Rollins and Punk, man, I was like, there should be fireworks here. And I don't know if it's jet lag or if it's just simply Triple H. He books a big moment, and yeah, the guy has kind of a hard time following through on that big moment. He relies on, look at what happened last week. On SmackDown today, we got a recap package of what happened on Raw with John Cena with the promo. And, he's going to be back on Monday, so I'm sure we'll get him trying to cook Cody in a promo.
Which is weird, isn't it, that the SmackDown title feud is playing out on Raw? I'm sure that's because it fits into Cena's schedule better, but...
Yeah, I don't know if it's that or if they're deciding that, okay, well, we're going to load the SmackDowns with the Roman Punk Rollins thing and Cody and Cena.
But Roman Punk Rollins are all on Raw.
Yeah, I don't get it. I honestly
I think
don't.
It has to be a schedule thing.
You're probably right. I mean, it might start with John Cena and his schedule, and then the dominoes fall where they are. But yeah, you got both world championships for the men's division on both brands. On
one of those titles is actually getting some attention creatively
on one show. So yeah, dude, I don't know. You look at this SmackDown up and down, and it's like, where's the beef? You know what I mean? Like, where is it? Because like when I go, usually like 9 times out of 10, it's pretty obvious what I'm going to use for the title of the episode. You just take the hottest segment and you do the thing. And in this one, I'm like, God damn, like not a lot of stuff happened today.
No.
And these crowds are giving like everything they got.
I know.
That Bologna crowd was great.
Yeah, Bologna was a good crowd. And I wonder if sometimes Triple H says, all right, we got this match we're going to put on. People are going to be so excited about the match itself happening that they'll kind of look past some creative, because the match will deliver, Because that kind of felt like there's been instances in the past, namely Bloodline versus Bloodline at War Games, and maybe schedules and people returning from injury change the timeline of how they're going to lay that story out. And nonetheless, that was such a missed opportunity in terms of telling a story over months as opposed to weeks of OG Bloodline reforming to take on new Bloodline. And it was like a super rush reunion because people just wanted to see them get back together for a match,
Yeah, it was definitely like and I was even like relatively cool with it because, the chemistry of the group kind of carried all that anyways, and you can kind of forgive, and then seeing like Roman and Punk in the cage together and like what Roman's reaction is going to be. I thought that the chemistry of those characters and their inherent history like kind of carried that. And so I was okay with it, although I definitely agreed you could have really had fire with it. But, in this case, I'm hoping they bring some more heat next week. I don't know what Roman's schedule's like. It seems like Rollins and Punk seem to be there on a pretty regular basis. In terms of Roman, Hopefully he's going to be there for the remainder, or at least, I don't know, 3 or 2 or whatever the dates leading up to WrestleMania, so we can get something that's kind of meaty. But yeah, it kind of feels like you're right in that Triple H just feels, hey, you know what? 3 huge names in this match. Do we really need more than them pointing at the sign? Do you want to overcomplicate it with, and I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's a matter of, we don't want to overcomplicate it. We don't have time to add wrinkles to it. I mean, obviously the dude's got a lot on his plate, but you got to give.
This is WrestleMania. This is the top show of the year. This is like the culmination of so much. This is where you pour your creative energy into.
You can take a break and advance a backlash, buddy.
Sure, yeah. This is where you make sure shit hits. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking about the Mania card, and like the setup for Jay and Gunther was solid. Been pretty lame since.
Mm-hmm.
We finally got some measure of explanation from Charlotte why she challenged Tiffany. At least we got that tonight. But again, I think a matchup that I think W thinks people are going to be excited to see. So let's have the match, book the match, and we'll have segments to try to tell a story along the way. But not a whole lot of energy seemingly is put into it. I mean, honestly, I feel like in terms of performance and energy put in, and it's mostly from the performer side, like Drew and Priest are doing everything they can to build something for their feud.
Yeah, they're into it. Yeah.
And they're into it. And I feel the same right now with Bianca and Io and Rhea.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like they're pouring everything into it to try to make this feel like it's a main event WrestleMania match.
They're proving why it belongs in that night 1 spot in the main event. And Triple H is, and you know what? If it's a matter of who's giving us a more compelling performance, it's them, and it's not the 3 dudes that we saw in the main event segment tonight.
Yeah, they all seem like they just got off the plane.
Yeah,
and walked into the arena.
Yeah, it seemed like jet
segment.
lag.
That's what it felt like.
And it was
it was lacking energy and urgency and all that.
Because on top of that, it's like, oh shit, they got like 25 minutes. You know how long these entrances are. You know what the crowds are doing. And so it's like you can almost feel Roman kind of speed running through what he was going to say, which was not a lot. Seth comes out. He gives his spiel, which was the only amount of meat to it, but it's nothing new.
No.
And then Punk comes down and he inserts himself. He gets up on the top turnbuckle, and it's all very surface level stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Part of that, I'm sure, too, is for 4 years, we got really good textured storytelling with Bloodline. And it'd be great if at least one story heading into Mania season was given that level of attention.
Do you think, I mean, honestly, I get what they were going with tonight in terms of like everybody, you have the imagery of like everybody points at the sign. Is it a matter of like, well, this was an idea that was focused more on imagery than talk, and that's going to sell it, and it just like looked good on paper and it fell flat?
Hey, I'm going to point at the WrestleMania sign to book a match. Sorry, go ahead.
Let me sort of illustrate as well. Triple H and Undertaker.
Yeah.
Remember that time? He just walks out there, they stare at each other, they both look at, they didn't even point. They just look at the damn thing.
Yeah, I know. But that was
And I wonder if that's what he was going for here.
But that was, what, a dozen years ago? Longer?
Yeah, no, sure. But, the like philosophy is there, and it's the same guy who did it,
The approach to that has been done so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the way this was constructed, where first is Punk, you and you. WrestleMania.
He says, you. I'm the best in the world. Look.
And then Seth does, Seth stands tall. You. WrestleMania. And then finally Roman, takes them both out with steel steps and just points at the sign.
Yeah.
It's just corny. Like, it's the framing device of all that, everybody pointing at the signs, corny. And I don't know. I get the idea, I guess, visually, but it wasn't strictly a visual thing. They were all yelling at each other. And it's like the reason it worked with Triple H and Undertaker is the history. They didn't have to say anything. You knew what was there between them.
To counter that, though, there's 10, 12 years of history between these three guys.
I understand that, but I don't know. It's with Triple H and Taker, it felt more immediate in that moment because they did that before. It was before end of an era, right? Where they just both came and looked at the sign, or was that before their match at Mania 27? No, it must have been 28, end of an era, because I didn't watch anything in the lead up to 27. Like, I didn't watch wrestling for years before I went to your house and watched WrestleMania 27. I remember watching that.
I want to say the one with no talking was the last one. I think so end that's what that was.
People saying it's before 27.
Before 27,
I remember watching that, and I wasn't watching wrestling then.
Maybe because Shawn Michaels involved in the end of an era, it was a lot more talky. So maybe that was the case. I don't know.
Maybe.
In any event, that's what they did. And I am in no way am I defending it and saying, oh, this is fine. What I'm saying is, when you look at the author of this, I can understand why he would think, hey, because what you said is absolutely right. There was tons of history between Triple H and The Undertaker. What year was that? 2010?
If it was before 27, that was 2011.
Okay, so 2011, going back 9 years, 2002. No, I'm sorry, go back 15 years before that. What's the math on that? 1997? 98?
It'd be 96.
Okay. I guess my point is, I feel like if you do the math, there's more history between the three guys tonight than there was between Triple H and Undertaker.
That's entirely
back
possible,
then.
but you know,
and I'm not defending it, dude. I'm saying when you look at the author, I could see how he would think there's parallels and it's okay to do something like that. I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying I could see why it's similar.
If that's the case, dispel with the brawl, have some talk. They all get in each other's face and they all both kind of look over and look at each other. You don't need all this pointing. If you want to evoke what you just mentioned, don't need any of this.
Well, yeah, but you know what they say these days? Wasn't there like a Netflix executive who was like, we want it so that whenever anybody's on the screen, they're basically describing what they're doing. Have you heard that one? It's like, that's like, the new like directive is because people are doing so many other things while they're watching shit.
They want all the exposition. They want to tell, not show, because everybody's watching Netflix like this.
Hey, I tell you what though, man, I want to say anything because you haven't seen it yet. Nobody had to. I wasn't doing a damn thing during that Severance show last night.
No, I didn't look at my phone during the Severance.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Anyways.
Yeah.
But no, dude, look, I get it. I get it. But and it's a shame that they would resort to, minimalism when it comes to building this particular feud, because they're capable of so much more. They're capable of so much more intrigue.
Yes. And that's what you can get by on the star power of a match. It's not the most satisfying, at least for me as a viewer, especially in a case like this where the participants have such history. Explore that history. How is Heyman involved in all this? What's the dynamic? There's so much to deal with or to work with here creatively. And if they go with the surface level thing where Roman says, Punk, you cost me the Rumble, and Punk's like, well, like you said tonight, it's every man for themselves. I mean, how did I cost you anything?
Yeah.
Rollins doesn't like either of them. Roman doesn't like Rollins. Punk's got this favor in his back pocket. When will he cash that in? Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if that's as deep as they get with it, it's going to be disappointing because there's a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I kind of wonder if, like the go home show, we have, all three of them in the ring. They have a 20-minute segment. They do it all in one segment, or try to cram it as much as they can in that last segment to really get people excited about it, as opposed to tell a, step-by-step story of the dynamics. It feels more like a feud than a story. Hey, we want a match. We want to build to this match. So we got to motivate the fight, as opposed to let's tell a fully fleshed out story where we're exploring the dynamic between all these characters, and there's characters evolving because of that. We're not getting that with this.
It's so much more likely is that we get like 2 more pull apart brawls and then a recap package for the go home.
Like they use clips of promos where CM Punk's like, I brought the Shield into WWE.
What this
Survivor
needs?
Series 2012 and stuff like that.
Dude, what this needs? A cinematic. I want like a chunky ass 20-minute cinematic where these guys are sitting around a table talking
You want
what I
episode
want.
dinner for 3.
Yeah. Oh, a dinner for
three
3. Yes.
That's what you
want. That's what I want, man. I don't
what
know.
you
Something. Make it feel big. The cinematic between Cody and Roman, on the football field, that made it feel big. Hey, you bust out the nice camera. You bust out the good lenses. You got some anamorphic shit going on. You got the lens flare even.
Yeah.
Do some of that shit.
Yeah.
And you're on top of that. I'm sorry. What? You're in Europe? Some of the places, some of the architecture, the history, the culture, you can get that in the background, not just in some warehouse.
Yeah.
Man, you could really do some cool shit there.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman finishing up some local cuisine, some lasagna.
So, anyways, hopefully they'll things will coalesce in a more satisfying way in the lead up to WrestleMania. I guess if I'm being optimistic, maybe they want to have a situation where everybody's pointing at each other in the signs, so then they're all on board with having the match. Although I even feel like there's more intriguing way, because it seemed like Seth was saying another chapter, you and me at WrestleMania.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And if Seth's goal is to crush CM Punk's WrestleMania dreams, why would he be pointing at him and telling him, I want you at WrestleMania? You're giving Phil what he wants.
Yeah, I know. And therein lies the problem. It's like Rollins' goal is to keep Punk away from his WrestleMania dream. So, yeah, he shouldn't be involving him. He should be the one being like, mind your own damn business. You have no business here. You have nothing to do with this. And Roman wanting a piece of Punk.
Yeah.
And then, therein lies the conflict. But instead, it's not that.
If there's no conflict, they just want to have a match. Yeah.
This might end up being one of those WrestleManias where the show itself is fucking fire. Because these 3 dudes can put together a match that's going to be really good. Jay and Gunther, this build has been absolutely crap. I have a feeling the match is, because the one at the Saturday night's main event was pretty decent. And if you're going to WrestleMania, this might be even better. It might be a case of like, oh, this build is crap, but the show ends up being really good. I hope
it'll be like a lot of takeovers when Triple H was running NXT, where the build was kind of mid, but the show always delivered. I expect WrestleMania.
You look at the author,
I expect WrestleMania to deliver in the ring.
Yeah.
And even I even expect, not just in terms of the quality of the wrestling, but also in terms of the storytelling in the matches. And at the time, it'll feel somewhat satisfying, but it's hard not to think, gosh, imagine if they'd laid so much more groundwork.
A lot of history there, yeah.
How much more satisfying it could be if they actually put in the effort to tell a more fleshed out story.
Yeah, but, I agree. I agree. The road is the thing. The road is the thing, dude. We do have 4 weeks left. That's right. We also have 4 weeks left until the WrestleMania Predictions Challenge, Larson.
Segue, look at that.
Looking to get the largest group of friendos to participate in the WrestleMania Predictions Challenge on the line. Is this straight from Pakistan?
Don't hold it that way, because that's the sharp edge towards you.
Straight from Pakistan.
Don't. You're gonna try to shave with that?
No, not at all.
I wonder if that'll stick in your back like Spike did to Mox.
I know, dude. We're going to have to suplex each other on this before we send it out. We also have whoever wins this thing at the WrestleMania Predictions Challenge is going to have to sign a hold harmless agreement. We'll get a DocuSign up for you guys. But yeah, this is on the line for the WrestleMania Predictions Challenge. You can get there by going to patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Once the predictions form goes live in advance of WrestleMania, you'll be able to fill out your predictions form and then and maybe win this thing. You can also participate by going to just right here, youtube.com/Steve and Larson, clicking on join and getting a channel membership.
They're practicing for the air show again this weekend, so my dog may bark for the remainder of the show.
I didn't notice everybody is talking about that here in town. I have not heard one playing.
Really? I hear them right now.
I have a fan going on over here. I need a quieter fan. But I can't hear shit. I'm also like in the middle of my house. So like I've got sound barriers.
And you're several miles from me, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Flying quite over your part of the area.
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and dive into it, man.
Let's get into it.
So we had, like you say here in the notes, Roman, Seth, and Punk under one roof.
Well, that's how they were promoting it on the show. I guess they don't want to do face to face.
So Roman comes out first. He says, "Hey, baloney, Acknowledge you, tribal chief. Your oat loves you. So I'll tell you what's on my mind. At the Rumble, CM Punk screwed me. So I screwed CM Punk. Last month, the Rumble, Seth tried to kill me. Well, last week, I screwed CM Punk, and I tried to kill Seth Rollins. He says, here's the deal. I came a long way, so I'm here to take my time. I'm going to be here another 15, 20 minutes. And I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, man, you ain't got that much time.
There was 18 minutes left in the show when he said that.
He says, so if anybody wants to come out and confront your tribal chief, please let me know. Yeah, and they were like 5 minutes early today, like getting out of there.
Yeah, they
were. Seth's music hits. He comes down, crowd serenades him for a bit. He says, Roman Reigns, you messed up. You don't know how dangerous CM Punk is, how dangerous he is to the future of this industry and this company. You should have let me finish him when I had the chance. Reading this dialogue, it's very my career. Yeah. He says, but I get it. It's not about him. It's never been. It's about you and me. It's always been you and me. Without you, there is no me. Without me, there is no you. We cannot coexist at the same time. This story of Roman and Seth has a lot of pages written, and I think it's time we add another chapter. And then he starts doing a little sexy dance, and he shows the titties. Remember these, big dog? And then CM Punk comes down to Cult of Personality with his pompadour.
His hair is entering pompadour territory.
It is, dude. Yeah,
I had the same thought today.
He's a fuck. What do you call those? Rockabilly dude.
You know what else? You know, it's funny because when he was in the corner during the brawl, at some point, whether it was Seth or Roman that were stomping on him, get pulled off him, and he does this. Fixes his hair.
Fix your hair, Punk. So anyways, Punk gets up on the corner of the apron so he can be taller than them. And he says, this right hand is not taped up to hold the mic, but before the circus kicks off, let's talk facts. Big Chief, Grimace, neither of you have beaten. That was pretty funny.
It was funny he called Seth Grimace, yeah.
Because Seth's wearing like a big sort of purple-blue outfit. He says, neither of you have beaten me without helping each other. Roman may have forgotten that, but the Rumble is every man for himself. You wouldn't have made it either if I didn't save your family's ass at War Games, of which I'm still owed a favor. But before we get to that, thank you for handing me your tribal chief on a silver platter. I appreciate it.
So he says that to Heyman, yeah.
Yeah. So he attacks Roman. Seth goes after Punk. Roman attacks Punk. Brawl happens. At one point, Punk points to both of them, says, you, I'm the best in the world. That sign. And then Seth attacks him, gets the better of him, points to the sign, and then Roman comes in like it's 2K, and he's got the big steel steps, dunk, and then dunk, and then he puts down, gets up on the steps, and then he points up at the sign himself. So yeah, that was the main event there. And
even like the tease of discord between Heyman and Roman was kind of meh.
There was teasing there. They did something.
Well, yeah. That's because he says, "Hey, thanks for serving up your Roman on a silver platter." He looks over at Heyman and says that.
Oh yeah.
And then Roman slow turns to Heyman, and Heyman's like, "No, I didn't do anything."
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, no, I remember that now.
And that was the extent of.
Yeah, you take that right there and make that the entire segment.
Well, you can't do that for the entire segment because where does Seth play and all that? That's just dynamic between Roman and Phil.
No, I know. I get it. I'm just saying, like, you want that kind of stuff.
Yes.
You want the stuff where somebody says something, you're like, oh, shit.
No, I don't disagree.
These days, Seth is just like, he just sort of talks about there. He's like, he just reminds people of what's already happened. He's a walking recap package.
He has been lately.
Yeah.
Or promoting what he's going to do next week. So then we had a split screen interview between Charlotte and Tiffany. As we said earlier, neither of us are huge fans of these just because they kind of come off as awkward.
They do.
A lot of talking over each other in this one.
You know, man, the perfect one was the Seth Riddle one. Because there was that amazing moment at the end where, they go through the interview and Seth says, they're done, right? It's done. And sort of it picks up like a hot mic situation is what it's supposed to be. And he keeps it real with Riddle, talks shit about the fact that his family left him or whatever. And it was like, oh my God, Seth basically ended his career with that one line. It was amazing. And the rest of the split screen interview preceding that was all to set up that one moment. as opposed to what this felt like, where if this was scripted, it was poorly scripted because Charlotte absolutely smoked Tiffany here. Tiffany just came off as like not being ready for any of this. And it's like, I get the idea of taking a younger star that you want to be a big thing and throwing her into the deep end. I feel like there are other people more qualified than Tiffany to be in this spot after watching this. Like, could you imagine the dynamic between Chelsea Green and Charlotte and how much more interesting that could be if Charlotte's like, you basically exist as a clown and you're a coward, and how Chelsea would have to, and she'd kill it, would have to respond and kind of become a bit on the serious side. That right there would be actually compelling. And I'm sure Tiffany's got a bright future ahead of herself, but like, this ain't it. Like, this was not a good way to showcase Tiffany Stratton, your champion.
And just the framing of it, the split screen, because, whether it's difficulty hearing the other person, timing issues, whatever, it just comes off, they can really come off as awkward. So Joe first asked Tiffany about her mindset. Charlotte interrupts. She says, Queen speaks first. I agree. It was the first time. Tiffany, speaking about last week, truly impressed. And I always bring out the best. So they argue some more. And Charlotte says, I chose you because I felt sorry for you. You're the only one delusional enough to think you can compare to me. Everyone is compared to me. You're not special. So Tiffany says, well, I have the belt and I earned the title, so I think I am pretty special. Charlotte says, via cash in. Delusional. At WrestleMania 41 is the pinnacle of your career, while I get to shine my light on an undeserving blonde girl who can do a backflip. So Tiffany says, did you forget you were one of my biggest supporters? You're going to be a star. I look up to you. Then when we stood face to face, I saw the real you. So Charlotte again talks some crap and says, what did you want me to do? High five you and slap you on the butt and say, yay? No, I'm the only one who tells you the truth. I want real competition. And Tiffany says, you see the hottest thing and you pour water on it. Charlotte responds, you aren't even the hottest thing in the company. Tell me, what do I do? They keep bitching back and forth to each other. And then Tiffany says, the universe doesn't bow to you anymore. They run on Tiffy time. See you at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
No.
No. Charlotte comes off as incredibly comfortable. And I get maybe that's like the point of it. Is like, she's the veteran. Tiffany, maybe we're supposed to think Tiffany's not ready. So that when she wins, it's like, oh, wow, she overcame. But it just comes off as awkward. I don't know that it necessarily translates, but.
No, it just comes off as awkward.
Yeah. Show kicked off with Randy Orton. Comes down. Crowd loves him, of course. He gets on the mic. Kevin Owens comes down. He stops on the ramp, though. He says, look, I know what you want to do, but hear me out first. I have something important to tell you. I'm here to tell you that I was wrong. I was wrong for attacking you, hitting you with a pile driver. You didn't deserve it. He says, Cody deserved everything I did to him. Sammy deserved everything, but you didn't. You picked Cody over me and made me angry and made me do something I regret. If anyone can... Sorry, everybody. If anybody can relate to... Now they got an earful of my stupid notification thing. If anybody can relate to letting their anger do stupid things, it's you. You talk about your anger making you do things you wish you hadn't. I'm like you, human. He says, I mean it. I can forgive you for picking Cody's side if you can forgive me what I did to you and try to put this in the past. Speaking of the past, you want to know why I helped Carmelo? I was trying to save you from yourself, to protect you from yourself. You don't want to be the Randy Orton who kicks people in the head. You've grown and changed for the better. This needs to stay in the past. He said that needs to stay in the past, but we need to look to the future of WrestleMania. You know what I think? I can't think of a better moment than you and me becoming tag team champions. We were this close. We should have been champs, but things got between us. Don't listen to these, because they start chanting, for Orton. He says, don't listen to these idiots. What do you say? And then Randy says, I'll tell you what I'll say. I should roll out and beat your ass all over this arena. You were pretty intriguing. You said you were wrong. Let me think. No. You can take that half-hearted apology and shove it up your ass. The only thing that matters about who deserves what is that you get you kicked in the head and I get a pat on the back. You used to be fight Owens fight. Now you're bitch Owens bitch. You say you shouldn't have given me that pile driver. Well, I'm glad you dropped me on my head. I hear voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They say whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So now the voices in his head are like part of the tourism.
Playing in there.
It's like the tourism council for Vegas. He says, but not for you because I'm at WrestleMania. I'm going to kick your freaking head clean off your shoulders, which would be shocking if that happened.
That would be. Is it just me, or is WWE getting a lot more liberal with the word biatch? There's been a lot of that. You know, Cody just said that to Cena. Why do you biatch?
Yeah.
Tonight.
Has anybody dropped? Was there an asshole dropped somewhere along the way?
I don't think so. Not like during a promo.
That maybe they.
I mean,
tried
Seth
to
and Punk were cussing at each other in the cage match, but
big
not
time,
the promo situation.
Okay, yeah.
And so half that stuff they didn't bleep out.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think during the Netflix era, there's going to be certain things. They're amping things up a little bit, just a little scotch, you know. Yeah, I could see that because So, who wins that match at WrestleMania, dude? Kevin Owens or Randy Orton?
Does. Randy Orton wins that. Yeah, Randy Orton wins that. Yeah.
He's pretty popular. He'll have a Cody feud or a Cena feud, probably.
He has to get his revenge for being out of action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Forever. Yeah, he was gone forever. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, he said he was playing in Elden Ring the whole time, right?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that bad of a vacation. Get to sit there and play video games like me and Rocket League.
Another 5 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, right. Eating Nutella.
Massive.
Nutella.
So, as we saw last week, Jade has a match against Liv Morgan. Before that, we get an interview with Liv and Raquel. And Liv says Jade allowed everyone to believe it was us who attacked her. You know, she could have updated her Instagram, but she couldn't take the time to clear our names. And that's personal to me. I will say, though, I'm impressed with what Naomi tried to do, but she didn't finish the job, so I guess I'll have to do it for her later on. Jade warming up backstage. Kathy steps up. Interview. Asks, Jade, are you ready? She says, Kathy, how do I feel? You can see how I feel. Liv tried that night, says she wants to disrespect me and run her mouth. I'll take her out. Then, Naomi, I'm coming for you. It's just a preview of what I'm going to do to you. Match happens. It's pretty good. It's actually a really fun match.
This is actually a really fun match. I thought it was really solid.
It was. And somewhat surprising that Jade took an L.
I was very surprised at this, but they booked it properly to get some, heat on this Jade Naomi situation, which clearly is going to WrestleMania as well. So towards the finish here, Jade got hit. So Liv tries to go for an oblivion. Jade is able to catch her, hits a German suplex.
That was cool.
That was really cool, yeah. So Jade kips up, hits some running elbows, corner splash, spine buster, hits Liv with an F5, gets a 2 count on that. Jade drags her up, try to get it jaded. Naomi gets on the apron. Liv uses the distraction to try to get with an oblivion, but Jade is able to counter with a backbreaker. Raquel distracts as Naomi hits Jade with the tag title. Liv charges in, hits oblivion for the win. So it took a lot to get Jade down. And then afterwards, Naomi attacks Jade. Eventually, so she hits a heat seeker on Jade, mocks the pose, her pose, and then pushes her off the apron onto the announce table. Mm-hmm. And so she gets the upper hand there for the first time on Jade Cargill. Yeah, I like this. I think this is a good story they got going. Hopefully they can devote some more time to it. It's funny because they got a couple of good things, and I know like they had the whole match and everything, but this is a feud that I really like. I wish they devote a little bit more time to it, perhaps.
Yeah.
Same can be said clearly about, in kind of a copy-paste situation, Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
So we had Braun and Jacob Fatu. It was announced. So basically we had Braun backstage. LA Knight walks up. He says, that's one big SO, because Braun is doing the, what are the little...
Oh, the resistance band.
Yeah, the resistance bands, yeah. He says, that's one big SOB getting his pump on. I see you have Jacob later on tonight. I go smack him upside his head, restore to factory settings. Yeah. He says, but those guys like to work in numbers, so I'm going to keep my eyes out. Braun says, hey, I'm happy to face Braun, but I talked to Nick Aldis, and whoever wins gets a shot at the U.S. title. And Knight says, yeah.
Yeah.
So we get this match. It's good stuff. These guys have good chemistry.
The finish, again, just like pulling the rug out from under you.
Yeah, totally. So, like, The finish, so we get a hip attack by Jacob. Stares back. Braun pulls him up. Splash by Fatu. Goes for another. Braun follows. Hits a big lariat. Gets some more clotheslines by Braun. Hits a clubbing blow. Rips his shirt off. Goes for the big train thing. Pounces Jacob over the table. Jacob Fatu comes back in. Runs into a spine buster. And I guess that was the trigger for Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa to attack. DQ finish. They attack Braun Strowman. So we see backstage.
Well, Braun's awarded the win.
Right, yeah. So
DQ
in this situation.
Win. So whatever thought we had about outside interference causing a DQ, it's not a no contest, I guess. Again, rule book sketchpad.
Proof positive we can put this one to rest. For now.
No, because probably in 2 weeks, something similar will happen that they'll declare it a no contest.
Well, when they do, we can open it back up. But for now, put it to rest. It's in rest.
So Jacob's not happy with Solo.
No, nor should he be.
Mask. No. Later on, Solo's trying to talk to Jacob, tell him to calm down, and Fatu says, "Calm down, what?" And Solo says, "Listen, me and Tama, we thought it looked like," and Jacob says, "Tell me what it looked like."
What it looked like.
And Solo says, "I'm just trying to help." And Jacob says, "Help? Help who? Help you? It's my business. Ain't nobody's damn business, especially not yours, so I'm taking care of mine. You better watch it, Oos."
Oos.
Got all these segments now. Solo, Jacob, arguing, bitching back and forth. Is this the Mania match? Or are we getting Jacob LA Knight for the U.S. title at Mania?
Braun won this match.
He gets his title shot next week.
Oh.
Are they going to do another triple threat? Are they going to do LA Knight, Braun, and Jacob Fatu?
They might do a fatal four-way. Add Solo to the mix. It should absolutely 1,000% be Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. That's what it should be. You got 4 weeks. You can do that shit. You know, Triple H either likes to speed run stuff or he'll take a sweet time with it. I hope he speeds runs this one because there's no middle ground.
No.
Yeah, no, it needs to be Jacob and Solo. Come on. That's a good one right there.
You don't think the idea of Jacob winning the U.S. title at WrestleMania is an interesting proposition?
I do. I think what's more interesting is a good blood feud between with the history of Solo and Jacob. I think that's better.
So I have a thought if it is Jacob LA Knight, but I don't want to put it out in the universe because I don't want it to happen.
Hold on. Don't tell me. I don't know what it is. What is it?
Okay. We'll talk about it after the show, but I don't want to put it out there because I don't want to manifest it.
But here's the thing. If we obsess over it, it won't happen. Come on, you can't leave us hanging like that, man. We got 438 people watching on YouTube and 71 people on Twitch.
All right.
Let's hear it.
If they want to push on the Solo Jacob feud, they could have Solo cost Jacob Fatu the U.S. title at WrestleMania and LA Knight pins him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's similar to what we saw with Liv and Jade tonight. You know, like in one respect, it would be a protected loss for Jacob, and he's got to lose at some point.
Yeah.
You know, same with Jade. She has to lose at some point. So you don't want to get booked into the corner of, undefeated wrestler, because sometimes that's a problem.
Okay, so there's one situation in which I think that's acceptable. If it's literally Solo hits him with a spike and then a BFT. If it's merely Solo distracts him on accident and you keep on pushing this bullshit forever and ever.
It'd be a thing probably where Solo was trying to spike LA Knight. Spikes Jacob instead.
See, that'd be lame, yeah. I'm saying if Solo like intentionally, like the ref gets distracted and he does the thing where he spikes him and then he looks mean at him, and then
that's not going to happen, because if anything like this goes down, it's going to be this that really starts the feud between them.
Yeah, it should be a straight turn. But the problem is in character, Solo doesn't have Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga clearly is a Jacob Fatu guy. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know. You probably just manifested it. Good job. Now it's your fault if it happens.
Yeah, sorry.
Didn't matter. Here's the thing, though. It was good. Like, this would have happened anyways. At least now you look really smart.
I guess so.
Shaggy Two Dosed here with a membership. Says, stuck at work till midnight. How was SmackDown? Go back to the beginning of the show and you can hear us bitch about how it's mid.
Yeah.
Because it's not a very good
mid
one.
episode. If you're stuck at work till midnight, just watch clips on YouTube. Listen to the podcast here. Watch clips on YouTube if anything sounds interesting. And if anything is still of interest of you, watch those segments.
We had a super chat from Kean Lawrence. Yeah, honestly, there's nothing I can be like, oh, go out of your way to watch this.
I will say the tag match between Street Profits and Los Garza was very good.
The Montez bit where he buried their sometimes finish, I guess.
Well, they hit it once.
They hit it once, one awesome time on Kit Wilson, and then they haven't hit it yet again. I was hoping that they would hit it, and then like DIY would come in and wonk the finish or something.
Oh, you
like,
want another
wonk the pin.
finish match, huh?
I wanted a wonk pin just so I could see the Los Garza's amazing finisher.
Sorry, Steve. Wasn't going to happen, man.
Kean Lawrence here with the super chat says, segment sucked. They should, talking about the main event segment, they should not touch that night one main, but the other triple threat has women and one of them is black, so we know that won't main. I think the women have a good chance at main eventing.
Yeah.
You man, honestly, right now, if you go by heat, you open with Jay versus Gunther. You open with Jay versus Gunther.
On night one, you open night two, Punk, Seth, Roman.
Ooh, wow. How about this? Even better. SmackDown main event before WrestleMania.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Punk, Roman Rollins.
On WrestleMania SmackDown, huh?
They don't even get WrestleMania.
No, how about this?
Yeah.
Top of the third hour, Punk, Seth, Roman. Main event, Andre Battle Royal.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I think that's good. Who wins the Andre then?
The returning Tonga Loa.
Perfect. Man, I tried to do a universe mode on 2K the other day where I control just Tonga Loa, and I organized a world title match for him.
And?
Oh, big L. Huge L. One Crossroads. One Crossroads. Yeah. I was controlling Tonga Loa too. Yeah. So it wasn't like I simmed it because that would be obvious. But no, it went down just like it would. Pretty quick match too.
Yeah.
They tried to put me in when I was doing the Myrai stuff as Steve Thunder, they tried to put me in a speed match against Blair Davenport. I got counted out. I just walked out. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. What's your problem? Get out of here with that.
This took your count out, huh?
They're like, hey, can you... I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of the fact they brought back intergender wrestling. I'm like, this feels uncomfortable. What do you want me to do? Look at how big Steve Thunder is. That's upsetting.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I understand that. We mentioned Drew and Priest earlier, so they were involved in a tag match. We had Damian Priest and Jim Uso, taking on Drew McIntyre and Nakamura. Nakamura eating a pin here after taking a South to Heaven from Damian Priest. Real fireworks began after the match, though, so Drew attacks Priest, chokes him, hits a bunch of punches, drops him with the Claymore, which Priest sold great.
Yeah.
He's laying on the mat with his eyes rolling back in his head. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And Drew leans in, and I heard him mention WrestleMania. So, challenge issued, later confirmed this match is happening at WrestleMania. What did you think about the WrestleMania graphics where they're facing each other like nose to nose pretty much in profile?
Like an intern did it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
None of them are very good this year.
No.
Like they still have why don't they have a scowling Cena render?
Well, they do, but I know it's just from Elimination Chamber. Yeah,
because like the Cody Cena poster that they have, it's just like an old Cena one. He's like,
well, it's like they have the graphics with the chips, the poker chips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever. Mm-hmm. But then the one where they're all in profile, it's like basically nose to nose. Mm-mm.
Let me take another look here because I think I saw the
Orton. So they had them up for Orton and...
I saw the Orton Owens one.
Owens one.
Let me take a look.
They had them up for another one.
Let's see if it's on their WrestleMania thing. Okay, so no, that's not it.
So while you look at that up, later on, Drew's backstage. He's about to leave. Kathy asked him about attacking Priest. And Drew says, I didn't start it. I'm sure as hell going to end it. I explained why I have problems with Damian Priest. He was there like an emo vulture ready to pick the pieces. You know what I would love? Someone to explain how I'm wrong. All I do is tell the truth. I'll give credit to Priest. You're as tough as you are stupid. You keep getting back up. When I put you down, well, that's fine. Next week I'll be in London. Come find me. Arrivederci. And as he leaves, he bumps into Seth.
They need to give these guys more time and more segments because I feel like Drew and Priest are on a mission to make something out of this.
Yep.
So give them more time. Give Bianca, Rhea, Io more time.
Yeah.
And give Jacob Solo tons of time.
Yes. Everything else video packages for the hype to WrestleMania, right?
Yes, correct.
That's what you're saying.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
Then Street Profits. They come out to the ring for a promo, talk about their tag title win.
Did they forget the CD with their entrance music on it, Larson?
No, I think they have a new theme.
But they're
match
still
their new attitude.
Okay, but here's the thing. They're good guys.
Are they?
Did you hear their promo?
Oh, I know, but
thanks, Baloney. You're great. You're lovely people.
Street Profits. They weren't exactly positioned as baby faces before tonight.
I'm sorry. Are Los Garzas good guys or bad guys?
I think they're heels.
Yes, they're bad guys. What's his face? Santos comes down, runs down the Street Profits. The Street Profits are talking about, man, 4 long years. We were going to break up, but we stuck together.
Listen. Yes, I'm
agreeing with you. They're good guys.
They're good guys tonight.
Why did they change their fucking theme?
Because before tonight, they had to change an attitude, Steve.
They changed it back to being good guys. Why did they change their theme?
I don't know.
It's a horrible theme.
It does sound like the music they play if you're watching the Smackdown internationally with the Come Back Soon.
Or the other thing that I texted you, it sounds like a Solo Sikoa theme B-side. Because I think it's the same dude singing on it.
Oh, it could be.
I'm pretty sure it is.
It could be.
Get rid of it. Go bring back. If they're going to be good guys, then I love that song.
It's great.
Yeah.
You know, it's because when they were introduced and the song hit, like they didn't get much of a reaction when they made their entrance. And I wonder if part of that was people were waiting for. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, the other one is so good. It's like, look, I get it. If they're going to have a bat, but they were straight up baby faces tonight.
They were.
Grillamon says they both have Stevie Stone on vocals. I guess that's who does it. Yeah, the Solo Sikoa B-side.
So, yeah, the Street Profits come out, cut a babyface promo, talking about how it's been 4 years since they were tag champs. It says some doubt creeped in. But Ford says, no matter what, I know I can count on you, Dawkins. Legato's music hits. Santos is pretty funny tonight.
Santos is great.
So he starts out speaking some Italian and says what a moment. Street Profits finally capture gold. Beautiful. Too bad it's going to end abruptly. Mi familia. These 2 chiseled Latinos are pissed. They're ready to take those titles off you. And so Pretty Deadly's music hits. They are the number 1 contenders. And so they say, Legato, you need to step aside. And Santos says, no, we will not step aside. He says, you got the Profits for your so you got the Profits to believe your lie that we attacked them. And Street Profits, you still owe us an apology. This is personal. So Pretty Deadly, stay out of it. So Montez says, all right, Pretty Deadly, you got your title shot locked in. We want to fight. So we'll take on Los Garza tonight.
Yeah. Sadly, my favorite tag team, Los Garzas, did not hit their finish.
It was a really good match, though.
I know. It was a really, really fun match. This was awesome.
I would say this is like the one thing that I would suggest people actually watch from SmackDown because it was really, really good.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, they did the thing where the Los Garzas had Montez up for an MTY up there on the corner.
On the second rope, yeah.
On the second rope, and he just stuck the landing, and the TV direction on it was really, really good. It was really
they did
good
a good
stuff.
job selling that moment.
Yeah. So anyway, Street Profits get the win here. Ford hits a big splash from the heavens to get a win on I don't know, one of the guys, Angel? No, sent out. So the other guy got it, I think.
Well, it says Angel rolled in as Ford hits.
Oh, that's what it says. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was still distraught that Ford buried their cool corner finish there. Anyways, also Piper Niven. This is a hell of a match too. Piper
Oh,
Niven
there was a segment backstage where DIY walks up to Pretty Deadly and says, "Hey, quid pro quo, we'll help you win the tag titles," and then we get first crack. Pretty Deadly says, "Help? No way." So they leave. Motor City Machine Gun step up and talk some shit to DIY.
Hey, that's going to be cool for Pretty Deadly. They're not going to win that match, but they're going into the O2. They're in London.
Yep.
For their match against the Profits next week. So that's going to be cool.
That will be cool.
Piper Niven versus Zelina Vega. Kind of surprised with this one also. Piper Niven got the win here. Hell of a match, though. It was a lot of fun. But, it was the overbooking. Look, you got Chelsea and Alba Fire out there. As much of they gave Zelina a bunch of hope spots in this match. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, she had a big old running crossbody.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere from Piper. Just fucking planted it. It was good. Piper got the win.
Considering how they were positioning Zelina to be a challenger for Chelsea.
How do they get her back to that spot? Because, you
Zelina
figured...
says, Piper, you can't beat me without help.
Yeah. Piper's like, so what?
Yeah, no.
I can still beat you. Might take some help, but I can still beat you. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do that. I mean, they could do that where they're banned from ringside or something.
Could be.
I guess.
Could be.
I guess. Anyways, would you like to answer some questions?
Let's answer some questions.
All right. Hopefully these questions are spicier than the episode of SmackDown tonight.
Yeah. Black Sails here says, who would do the best at karaoke between Punk, Rollins, and Reigns, and what song would they sing?
Who would do the best at karaoke between Punk?
Punk sang a line from Cult of Personality tonight during his entrance.
Okay, I'll proffer this.
Sure.
Well, I will almost guarantee that during his time between Big Dog and Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns took acting classes. It's entirely possible that along with that, as part of his acting regiment classes, he took some singing lessons as well. He had some singing lessons.
Could be.
So I think it might be Roman. That's just something I suspect.
Yeah, I would probably say Roman. What song, though? What song would Roman sing?
Some Italian opera.
All right.
I have no idea. I don't know. Some Ave Maria, maybe.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Ave Maria. Shady Marino says, if Cody is WWE's QB1, who in WWE would be their QB 32? And he says, Aaron Rodgers. Oh shit, I don't know. Who'd be their QB 32?
I mean, pretty much asking who's the worst starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Um.
Oh no. Finn Balor.
Sorry, Finn.
Sorry, Finn. Finn equals Finn. Hey, we got another Aleister Black promo tonight.
We did.
This one, it said 4, and then there was something next to it that I couldn't quite make out.
Yeah, it was up just very briefly. There was a couple other images.
There was some flashes.
Shut up real quick.
Yeah.
There's a lot of food questions for some reason. That's interesting.
It must be because I'm hungry. Austin Reed wants to know who we think Aleister Black's first feud should be against when he comes to SmackDown.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor's not on SmackDown?
Oh, that's right, SmackDown. It'll probably be Nakamura.
Probably be Nakamura. I could see that, yeah. Oh, JC here says it was a 3. It was a 4 and a 3.
Oh, they do a countdown.
4, 3, 2. And yeah, there was another Phoenix tease as well.
Yeah. Alex Foster says, if Tonga Loa recovered in time for Mania, what would his Mania match be?
Ideally, he'd be added to Cody Cena.
Oh, yeah.
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 And
Gunther J.
Gunther J.
The show ends with him with both titles.
Yeah. It's like the Eddie Benoit moment, but it's just Tonga Loa.
It's just Tonga Loa.
Let's see here. Emerald City Picture says, with the recent news of Alexa Bliss being pulled from events during Mania weekend, do you think it's over for the Wyatt Six? No, I think the apparently what's his face Bo just got. So this is a Fightful thing.
Yeah.
Sean Ross Sapp had said that Alexa Bliss had been pulled from Wrestlemania events. I think there was a thing called the World.
Yeah.
I think that's
World at WWE. It's like they're doing the autograph signings.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, I think that wasn't Bo. I think the idea was Bo Dallas was injured for a spell.
Yeah.
And he's recently been cleared, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So no, I think once that all happens, clearly they are having Wyatt Six, Alexa Bliss stuff happen. It's probably just going to be after Mania, though.
Yeah. Ryan Luckman says, what would be the worst way this triple threat match could end at Mania between Roman, Punk, and Seth? Worst way.
I'll give you the best and worst way, and they're both the same thing, and that's Roman stacking them. You know what? The best way would be Seth stacking them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That'd be the best.
I really want Seth to win this match. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Worst way would be, I don't know, some sort of horrible no contest.
Yeah, they do a DQ match at WrestleMania. Triple count out. Well, it's triple threat. There's no countouts. There's no DQs in a triple threat match either. So
right? Yeah. Well, I'm saying they do a no DQ. So it's like they do rope breaks. They do count outs. Yeah.
And or they just do something where the match ends, nobody wins.
Yeah, right.
And it's just confusing.
Wayne here with the channel membership for 14 months says, love you guys. Good luck to everyone trying for the Punk bootleg title, the WrestleMania Predictions Challenge.
Steve, I feel good about your chances. So
I hate that you keep saying that.
I'm pulling
you're just trying to. You're making me feel bad, dude.
Why?
You don't say that again. It makes me feel bad.
Well, I can't say that I believe that you can get the win.
What makes you believe that? I'm terrible at predictions.
You're due.
What does that mean? I'm due.
You're due.
There's gonna be 499 other friendos involved in this thing.
But none of
Why are you singling out me? I want our first women's champion. That's what I want.
Okay. All right.
I don't like my chances at all because I'm terrible at predictions. I might even try to throw them just so that I do so bad so that you look like an idiot saying you believe in me.
Well, guess what? Next time, I'm going to say it again. I believe in you. Maybe that's just what you need to hear to have the confidence to get that dub.
No, I don't need to hear it. Certainly not from you.
I believe in you.
Stop it.
You can do it.
I cannot do it. Javier's got a question, Larson, so hush it. He says, as of now, what do you see as Cena's possible last opponent? Oh, the last guy he faces. Drew McIntyre, and that's where Drew wins. He beats Cena for the title when he walks into WrestleMania as champion.
I'll put this out there. What if it's The Rock? They're 1-1 against each other. Cena turns babyface again.
Who wins that match?
Oh, John Cena wins. Cena wins. Yeah.
Cena versus the Final Boss. Final Boss lays down. I think it's really, really bad. I don't think I don't think that's going to happen, but I really like the idea. I think it's a great idea, though.
Square root of -1 says, which was a worse con movie, Star Trek Into Darkness or Star Trek Nemesis? I haven't seen Nemesis. I've seen Into Darkness, and that movie is not good.
It is, without a doubt, unquestionably, the worst movie ever in Star Trek. Into Darkness is the worst Star Trek movie. It's even worse than the third Star Trek in that series, Beyond.
That one is really bad.
Beyond is really bad. Don't get me wrong. Really bad movie. Into Darkness is so much worse. So much worse. The Next Generation movies are fine. They come off as big budget episodes.
First Contact's really good.
First Contact is awesome. That actually comes off as big. But Insurrection and Nemesis. Nemesis is not a good movie. But it's fine if you're into Next Generation. It's okay. Into Darkness is Horrible.
It's like, hey, this is Khan, and it's kind of tacked on for fan service, even though it makes
it's
like
so
no
bad.
sense.
Yeah. Same dude says, hey, Steve, I've been rewatching the old Steve Thunder videos. Are you planning on editing the new streams into YouTube videos? I think that once I finish the My Rise story on my Twitch stream, I might just put it all into one long video.
Oh,
Maybe minus the matches. Just take the matches out.
Saga.
Nobody wants to see me doing the same 5 moves over and over again. Nobody will get over doing that.
5 moves of doom, huh?
Yeah, man. Here we go. Richard says, so many people say Cena's the GOAT and forget how much Orton's done in his career. In your guys' opinion, how far is the gap between Cena and Orton as far as greats go? And why would Cena be considered above Orton?
I think the gap is pretty... there's a gap.
Yep.
Sizable.
Yep.
I feel like Randy Orton's greatest attribute as a pro wrestler is his consistency. You always know what you're going to get from Randy Orton. But I think because of that, you don't have the same highs that Cena has had.
I went back.
In terms of moments.
You're 1,000% right. I went back and I watched to do some research for a WrestleJuice video. A compilation of Cena's best promos, him cooking people on the mic. And Jesus Christ, it's so easy to forget, especially now that we're in the era of John Cena saying, nice speech. He used to fucking murder people on the mic. He used to absolutely kill people on the mic. And that led to so many just super entertaining moments. Mm-hmm. He is, dude, like he was given the ball so many times in a way that Randy Orton kind of wasn't.
Yep.
And I think it's partially because he was just so good on the mic and he got such a response from people. Not to take anything away from Randy Orton. I think he's great, but I think you're absolutely right. I think he was always a consistent guy. He would always deliver a certain thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you knew what to expect. And in certain situations, that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Orton was incredibly over. He's known to being one of the absolute safest people to work with in the ring.
Yeah.
You know, he takes care of his opponent. He's a good talker. Mm-hmm. He's a good wrestler, but I feel like it's the same for both of them. But, you know, there was a stretch where it seemed like Orton wasn't exactly terribly inspired by what he was doing. And it felt like he was kind of phoning it in for a stretch. And that hasn't been the case recently. He's been doing a lot of fun work these days. But like from, I don't know, if he wasn't involved in anything interesting from maybe 2012 to the formation of RK Bro,
mm-hmm.
if he wasn't doing anything at a high level, he seemed bored.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm happy that's not the case now. He seems really invested in his work. He seems to be having fun, and that translates on screen. But John Cena always seemed like a much more dynamic performer
mm-hmm.
on the mic, in the ring. Orton's got a very deliberate pace in the ring. Sometimes, depending on the story and the opponent, sometimes it works, sometimes it's a little dull.
Yeah.
So,
Scooter points out Section 31 is technically the worst of all the Star Trek movies. I was talking about theatrical releases. That is a Peacock original. It's terrible. I got like 15 minutes into it. I was like, this is horrible. It's trash.
Wow.
Yeah, technically you're right. And if you want to consider that a movie. Oh, wow. Nikyle wants to know, best food you ever had while watching a live wrestling show?
There used to be a Mexican restaurant we'd order from. And they had a surf and turf burrito. So steak, shrimp. And it was enormous. It was, like the size of a large brick. Thick, huge. And then you got the tomatillo salsa on it. Oh my God. It's probably like 2,500 calories. I'm like, I always would order that and think, I'm not going to finish the whole thing. I'd always eat the whole thing because it was so good.
So I appreciate that. Did you watch that at a live wrestling show?
Oh, is it a live wrestling show or just a wrestling show?
Well, he says while watching a live wrestling show. I thought I took that to mean in the venue.
Oh, sorry. No, I thought you meant just watching a wrestling show that was live.
Like, you son of a bitch. Now I'm like super hungry, and that sounds really good.
Yeah, the bummer thing is that place isn't open anymore.
Well,
I'll tell you to go there. So good. I know I don't usually buy food at wrestling shows. If I do, it's like a hot dog.
You're killing my soul today, man. My goodness gracious.
You got anything better than hot dog for an answer? Nachos, maybe?
Certainly wasn't that piece of shit pizza I had at the memorial the other day. That was horrible. And it was so expensive. What the fuck?
I know. My pretzel was cold. Like, super pretzels are only really edible if they're warm, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Thing was just like room temperature.
Yeah, I don't know. You and I have gone to a lot of shows together. Have we ever had a... Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, so when I went to WrestleMania 2000, I remember going and I got like some sort of steak sandwich.
Ooh.
I remember that. That's the one time I remember going to a wrestling show and not getting something that's kind of like a hot dog, nacho.
Damn,
blah.
dude, I could use a French dip right now.
I'm hecka hungry too.
I think I haven't seen my kid's working because she works over at the local barbecue place. Sometimes she'll bring home concoctions that she just makes, and I'm like, dude, call when you're gonna do this. You know, I'll send you some money. I want one of these. There's like a prime rib sandwich that she has.
Oh, that sounds good.
Fuck. I call her up. Let's see here. I've already answered this one before. Oh boy, yeah, I don't know about that.
I mean, I got a bunch of food questions here. If you want more food questions, Steve.
All right, dude, throw one more food because this is gonna be the last question. Make it a good one, and it's a food one, and I'm gonna find out if Summer's working at the restaurant.
All right, to go
and if
along.
she's not, I'm gonna find something to eat.
To go along with Decal's question.
Yeah.
Nick Cruz asks, "What would be your ideal concession food at a show?"
Oh wow. You know, dude, I will say this. If I were to go back to a WWE show at Golden One, they do have that like foot long, that giant fucking hot dog. I had that at a Kings game. That shit was pretty good.
Yeah. I also remember we went to the last WWE show there. There was someone sitting nearby that had the foot long hot dog.
Dude, this pissed me off though.
Okay.
So like I get the thing and I go to like where they've got like the condiments.
Hold on. First of all, was it a foot long as advertised?
It might have been more.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if they call it a foot long, but this thing is fucking huge.
Show me how long it was. No, it's like with your hands. Hold on. Well, I get no. That's girth. I get no sense of length. Still girth.
I don't know. It was fucking huge.
Like
anyways, yeah, sure.
Was this the length of your forearm?
This. This.
All right.
Yeah, it was that.
That's the sense of how long it was. Yeah.
This was a meat. This was a fucking girthy meat injection I got.
All right.
So I go over to the fucking concessions. Not the concessions, the condiments. You know, the little island they've got.
Yeah.
And they got all the packets of stuff. Bro, tell me why? Why in the living fuck would the mayo packet be yellow?
That's confusing.
It is. So I go and I sit down and I got some ketchup and mayo. And I thought I was getting, because you know me, I love my mustard.
Yeah, you love your mustard.
So what's a guy to do? I eat that whole goddamn thing just with ketchup.
I mean, that's kind of my go-to. I'm a ketchup guy.
I know, but like I love mustard.
I like mustard on certain things.
And I'm sitting there halfway through and I'm like, should I get up and go get some mustard?
You're like, no, this is too good.
That's exactly what I did. I was like, this shit's
so
bomb right now. We were down like 25 points because it was the Kings game. We were down like hell.
You're still happy though because you had your foot long.
Yeah.
So that's your ideal, is a foot long but with mustard on it this time.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah. Or, also, you know what you could do with that thing? So you get an order of nachos, but you just use the cheese dip to dip the
Why don't you just ask for a side of cheese then?
I don't know if they do that.
But here's the thing, though. If you got your foot-long hot dog plus your platter of nachos, and you got to maneuver that foot-long hot dog in a little receptacle of the nacho cheese.
You got to do this.
So
you got the cheese down here. You got to be doing this.
Well, no, you might have to use two hands with the foot-long hot dog. What are you talking about? Yeah. You need two hands. You got to dip it. And then you got to try to eat it. That's like you're risking dropping the whole nachos off your lap.
Yeah, it's a fucking mess, bro.
So that's why, like, the ideal thing is something that's not too involved. Like, if I could get a Portillo's Italian beef sandwich at an arena, I would be happy.
Yeah.
I don't be doing any of this stuff.
None of this shit here.
Trying to maneuver that in my mouth.
That right there.
Nope,
yeah.
I just peel the wrapper back, take a bite. I can hold it with one hand.
Yeah.
It's not too involved.
No, I feel that, man. I know. So, yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know when we're going to go to another wrestling show. But maybe we'll vlog just our food experience at it.
There we go. Start doing food vlogs at wrestling shows.
Yeah. Pretty good. Anyways, that's going to do it for the whole... Goddamn. How do we milk this for an hour and 15 minutes? That shitty Smackdown.
Concession food for 5 minutes.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
That's how.
Anyways, that's going to do it for the show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Bye.
Have a good week.